All right, we are back from our break. The party has succeeded in getting Braxon restored, so he did not lose that level. For the viewers primarily, as well as the players, the Warhammer that was given up was a Warhammer +1/+3 versus goblins, hobgoblins, Norkers, and bugbears. It was called Kurgobayeg's Bane, Orcish Warhammer, and it was created on a distant groundling world by an Orcish warlord priest of Grumsh, who was waging a long war against goblins. The weapon passed through his descendants until they discovered spelljamming, and was eventually carried by an orc whose ship crashed during the Unhuman Wars. So, that's the little background information that you guys never ended up getting, but since it has been given up, delete off my list. It is gone.
What about the background information on the armor? Come on, the armor that we've had since the very start.
That armor didn't actually have a background. I didn't write one up at the time, but yeah, it was just a Cursebreaker armor.
How many charges did it have?
2 left.
Was that
2 charges left? So it started out with 3 charges, and you've had that armor since the beginning of, practically the beginning of this whole campaign. Only just recently, what was it, like last session or the one before, you finally used it, and now you've given it up.
Oh yeah, that means Braxton's walking around in his torn up rags of like holding his chest.
Yeah,
he's got other clothing.
Yeah, he has the heavy armor, the heavy clothing.
That's got holes in it though. A couple of holes.
Yes, it's not often that Braxton runs around in a nightshirt fighting things.
It kind of is often, actually. Anyway, so with
Braxton, after he's recovered, tells the dwarves, points out the things on the armor, and tells them how it works.
Okay. They are very much appreciative, although, to be perfectly honest, I think you would have told them beforehand. Because otherwise, it's like, wait, why are you just giving? You're just offering us a suit of mail? Really? That's it? So, you would have told them about that beforehand. So now that you have been restored, the dwarf leading the group, I'm not sure if I gave you his name. He is Kratos
during
Forgetender.
Hang on.
Yep.
Before obviously when this is all happening, I will mention to the party at various intervals, whispering to them as I say the golem bent down and allowed the dwarves to put a blindfold on.
Okay.
I'm like being really surreptitious and subtle about saying this, not drawing attention.
Okay.
So make of it what you will, but don't discuss it.
And it is still blindfolded.
Yeah.
So, with all of that taken care of, Kratos does turn back to you and say, you ready to continue on through the mountain?
Yeah. Braxton says just one moment, and he kneels down, facing the 2 circles, and says, "Thank you for lending me your priests in Dwarven."
The 2 dwarven priestesses say thank you in Dwarven. And with that, the other dwarves come up to blindfold you again, and then hand you the rope, and begin to lead you out.
Yeah, I decided against casting spells in the temple. That would be pretty obvious to the priests. Cast spells themselves. Plus, it would be insulting.
Rest of the trip only takes about 2 hours of walking, and you do get to another room that's clearly large when you can hear your footfalls echoing and everything like that. And you hear Kratos' voice say, "All right, we're here. You can take off your blindfolds again."
How long was it, sorry?
It was another 2 hours.
Ooh, God.
Okay, I guess take off blindfolds.
Yeah.
Yay.
All right. You find yourself in the entrance hall that you first entered when you came here.
I asked the dwarf, are we allowed like an hour or two before we have to meet up or not?
Where are you there?
Oh,
Yeah,
we're
where are they?
alright.
Well, I mean, outside there's going to be a ship that's going to take you someplace
Alright, never mind.
because you flew in a ship here. I mean, if you still want to ask for an hour,
Yeah. I mean, I want to go to the inn, get a bath, clean up.
well,
So to speak.
you're not in a town.
Yeah.
Oh, alright, no. Alright,
Well,
okay,
I mean,
fair enough.
you're still in the dwarven mountain town
Mm.
thingy, whatever it
Alright.
is.
Doesn't matter.
So, you guys take off your blindfolds, and you notice that the armored figure also takes off his blindfold.
By himself.
Yeah.
Braxton says, "Now that's interesting."
Yeah, see what I told you?
Yeah.
Stan, you've been lying to us.
Stan
That's
hasn't been
very
telling you
interesting.
anything.
Why are you being so awkward? I asked Stan. I go right up to him. Why are you being awkward?
It doesn't respond to you at all.
You can respond. You know what I'm saying.
It doesn't respond at all.
You're just being awkward.
It's just
Lafdul-
standing
Lafdul's-
stock still like a statue.
You could try and talk to it in Dwarfish.
Yeah, I tried speaking to it in Dwarvish.
Okay, you understand that the you guys have already talked to it in Dwarvish, and Kradoff told you could take off the blindfolds in common.
I think it understands us, but it doesn't talk.
Old.
Yes.
I think you said the name of the dwarf that was talking to us, and Lafdul talked at the same time.
Kradoff Forge Tender.
Kradoth.
And he says, all right, there's a ship outside. Take you back to where your ship is. I understand that they'll be wanting to talk to you tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks.
Braxton's holds out his hand to Kradoth and says, "Thank you for all your help."
We still got
and,
that sled.
No one said
Oh,
that they were
wait.
taking it. They were dragging it along through this whole thing.
Oh.
What?
We did want to sell that sled.
I mean, you bought it from these guys.
Yeah, we want to sell it back as like a Lucky Charm thing.
Yeah.
No one said anything.
Someone
we
said
at least-
something when they
We at
were
least
in
took
there.
our
but
gear
like-
off of it.
Bra-
Yeah,
Brax-
you did, of course.
Braxton said about selling a lucky sled to them as we came in.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did, but that's about it. We never confirmed it.
Yeah.
So I guess we left the sled behind, but we took everything off of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we couldn't
Alright.
take it with us all the way through the bloody
That's
plane.
200 good. We're not getting back.
Oh no, 200 gold when you just spent 3,000 plus items to restore Braxon.
I know you shouldn't have got hit.
Yeah,
Should have
I
been like
should've-
you, not getting hit.
Should have hid behind Lafdul better. Yeah. So Braxton says, thank you for your help and for taking us through your city. I didn't see any of it apart from the temple, but the architecture in there is magnificent. You must have a very nice home.
Aye, it is quite a nice home. It is a shame you didn't see it, but, you know, you being off-worlders and all,
Yeah.
it's best you be moving on.
Well, if you ever come to the Rock of Brow, come look up the Company of the Broken Sword, and I'll buy you a drink.
In the unlikely chance that I find myself there, I will do so. He shakes your hand, and then most of the dwarves leave. There are some dwarves who are in this chamber already who, did you still want to take the hour, Lafdul? Because you were saying that you wanted the hour so you could take a bath and go to the inn kind of thing, because you were thinking
Yeah,
that we're
yeah.
going
I just
elsewhere.
want a hot bath because I've been in the freezing Arctic for
Yeah,
ages. So
right. So that's going to be later.
make myself more presentable.
So you
but-
don't want the hour. Correct?
Yes, he wants the hour.
Yeah.
All right.
Not here.
Not
wants
here.
the
Yeah.
hour
No. No.
once-
Do you want to wait right here, or do you want the dwarves to open the door and let you go?
No. Let us go.
Okay.
I can do it later.
That's what I wanted to. All right. So the dwarves at the gate do open them. The doors are massive, and it is kind of amazing how few dwarves it actually takes to get that open.
Yeah. Does anyone know Dwarven for can you please throw a bucket of warm water over my friend?
I've not been saying this openly.
That's fine.
Oh, but Braxon, you know Dwarvish for can you throw a bucket of warm water?
I'm going
over
to
my
say,
friend?
can you throw a bucket of warm water over my friend here? He's been kind of smelling.
One of the
Oh,
dwarven
and
guards
you
says,
haven't?
"You should smell yourself, sir.
Oh,
He at least
true.
is an elf."
At least I'm
Okay,
trying to
fine,
make
I
myself
did
presentable.
We can do that
Elves
one.
don't smell much when they sweat.
Y'all.
Can't
Okay, let's
can't
keep
say
going.
the same thing about Giff or humans.
Let's go.
Oh god, Higgimus must smell awful.
Actually,
It
no.
smells different because
Higgimus doesn't smell as bad as the humans.
And it smells different because he is a vegetarian. Meat eaters smell different.
All right, so the doors swing open, and outside is a dragonfly waiting for you. There are armed warriors waiting to escort you on board. Captain comes out. It does not look like the same captain who flew you here in the first place, but he comes forward, salutes Higgimus, and says, "We're here to escort you back to your ship. The council will be speaking with you tomorrow. Give you time to prepare yourselves, clean up, everything like that." He catches a whiff of Ockar and Braxon. Get a bath. And then they will want a full report before taking you over to the Sunside. I understand that they will be allowing you a few days if you need to rest and recuperate, resupply, things like that. So you don't need to
thank
worry
you.
about that.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Thank you.
Yeah, we'll need some break. It was hard traveling there in that frozen.
Okay. You board the vessel, the Dragonfly, and it flies back to the port of Reuben. And you are greeted there by the official that you've had the most contact with, Graden. And he welcomes you back and says, "Oh, I'll be honest, none of us were expecting you guys to survive.
Is there?
Well, we did.
Genuinely a surprise."
Okay, never mind.
Is he pleasantly surprised? He said.
Yeah. I mean, the fact that
Yeah.
you got that you came back, I mean, I assume it means you found what you were looking for.
We did.
All right.
Yeah, we got a friend as well. Say hello, Stan.
He seems to notice the figure for the first time. He's like, he kind of like does a double take. He's like, you didn't have him with you when you went out, right?
Yeah.
Oh, we found
He-
him.
We think he's
been-
a golem of some sort.
He's been following us ever since we got out of the temple thing.
He gets a very,
Yeah.
very concerned look on his face, and he says,
We'll make the report tomorrow.
We were a
So
bit worried
"He's not
he might attack
dangerous.
us at some
Do
point,
you
but
are you ensuring that he is not dangerous? Are you?"
We're
Yeah.
fairly sure he let the dwarves blindfold him without any problem.
He's
Yeah.
not done
He's not-
anything hostile to anyone.
He just
He's
kind
not
of follows
Even
us.
our enemies.
Yes,
He's just
We're,
stood there.
I assure you, under my obligation, that he's not dangerous.
he's not a member of our party. But if he makes a move against any of your people, I'll
We'll
attack him.
aid and defense.
He nods slowly and says, "All right. Look forward to hearing your report tomorrow. And I'm very interested to know what you can tell me about this individual. But that will be tomorrow. I will be here quite early. Expect that it may take all day. There will almost certainly be many, many questions for you."
All right.
Joy.
Okay.
Sounds good.
It is. It is
does
late
he
afternoon according to the standard time at this point.
Are we allowed to go around town?
Yeah, you can go around the public part of town.
And I will go to an inn because I want to clean up, have a bath, however much that costs.
Yeah, I think I should get a bath too.
Okay.
And a good meal because Red Hill food's pretty nice here.
All right. That will be 10 gold pieces each for. Yeah, I mean, I assume that you're wanting more than just a
Yeah, no, I want
dip in a hot tub kind of thing. You want time.
I want the works.
Yeah.
The works.
All right. So anyone who wants that, that will be 10 gold pieces, including a meal and stuff like that.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Although Higgimus, it would be 15 gold pieces because they need to get a bigger tub.
They have
What
to
would we
make
do
a
with
bigger
Ockar's
tub
wolf?
for him.
Ockar's wolf would not be allowed in. He's
Does
gonna
he take him to like a groomer or something?
There's no such thing in this part of town. Ockar's gonna need to clean his wolf himself. However,
I can do that if I could buy cleaning supplies somewhere.
Buy some water lugged over.
I mean, there's
Yeah.
soap and water on the ship and stuff like that.
Yeah, I'll just use that to clean him up.
But I mean, the other thing is like it's been very, very cold. Your wolf
This
didn't
is just
sweat a
nice.
lot. I mean, like there's not a whole lot of, it's mostly
Grooming, right?
snow. So yeah, I mean you're doing more of just grooming rather than washing, really.
Yeah.
Now when you get back from
I
the
bet
other
he'll-
side, things may be different.
I bet he's pretty happy to be on this in the middle again.
So about our
Before we go to the other side, do you think it might be worth shaving Ockar?
We're not shaving the wolf.
I love that suggestion. No, Lafdul approves.
Make it a poodle.
You're not doing that to him.
Somehow
genius.
the
I love this.
Beowulf
Lafdul's hysterical.
just starts growling at Braxon and Lafdul. Just like his eyes
Lafdul's
narrow,
crying in
his
joy.
his ears flatten. He's...
But wouldn't you like to have a little pompo on top and shaved and little tufts of hair?
I'm starting to think that maybe BM will stay on the ship when we go to the hot side.
That's up to
Actually,
you.
he should keep his hair because otherwise he gets sunburned.
That's
Yeah,
right.
that's true.
Nobody is shaving the wolf.
I don't think a wolf would do very well in a desert.
Braxon says to the others when we're all alone, I don't know about this thing that's been following us. We're going to meet some important people. I'm wondering if we need to take any precautions to stop it making a move against them.
Yeah,
don't think so.
we should really figure out whom it is following if it is following a certain person.
Yeah, can we work that out?
Now we
Yes.
can.
Then let's do
do
it.
the test. Let's do the test.
Let's split up and see who it follows.
Yep.
So
Oh, yeah.
it stays on your ship.
Oh, you're just
While we
being
walk
awkward,
around.
Stan.
Okay then.
Where is the item?
It's in my backpack.
So real fast, as soon as you got on ship, it kind of took a position on that lower front deck with your where the main weapons are and the mast, and just stands there looking out. The crew initially are very nervous. They're like, "What is this thing? What is it doing? What's going on here?"
That's our
Asking
new
you in
galleons
particular,
figured.
Higgimus.
Is a golem that we found on our trip to the cold side. It's observing. Just leave it alone. It'll leave
It's
you alone.
being awkward. I tried talking to it. It won't talk back. It can
It's a
understand us.
golem.
We named it Sten.
Alt,
Yes,
Oh.
honorary Stan.
Yes, Leva?
could I sort of cast an identify spell on it?
You need to purify it for 8 hours.
Yes.
It's
Would
got
it let me?
anti-magic.
Would it let me?
Well, I mean, you want to try it?
Yes.
It continually moves
Some-
away. It
wait.
like When you come near it, ready to purify it, it steps away from you, and it just constantly moves about the deck.
But it's not aggressive in any way.
Nope.
I don't think it wants you to do that. I think if you keep trying, it's gonna punch you in the face, and then we'll.
What do you if you can make yourself invisible?
Yeah, I'll make myself invisible.
That way we know if it can see invisible.
What?
We'll know if it's got true sight then.
I don't know. Yeah, we could. I mean, purifying it is not something aggressive against it. So
no,
would
but
I
it
be
takes
able to
8
do this?
hours.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it will notice as soon as you start trying to do it.
It's like an hour in, it starts moving away. It's like,
Maybe it's ticklish.
Is there a book on the Rhaegar language here?
So after your meal and your bath, you're gonna
see
check
if
to see
there's
if
something
any local bookshops that might have anything.
And you also need to see if my holy symbol is going to work.
Right, but well, you actually already know it works because you were able to cast your bat sense spell.
Yay!
Location. So there are 2 bookshops on the public section of Reuben. Mm-hmm. And the first one that you go in, you're just like going to go up to the proprietor and say, "Do you happen to have a book?"
I'll peruse briefly, then I'll go up to him.
Okay. So you go up and the proprietor says, "How can I help you today?"
Hello. Do you happen to have any books on the language of Rhaegar? No. Okay. All right. I know it's a great joke.
No, but I mean, I might be able to find something on the Jabberwock.
Uh-huh.
All right. Laughter's clearly like.
Yeldan's gonna go and look up, see if they have any monsters on beasts that.
Wait,
it's
I'm
like
sorry, what was that,
Rhaegar
Lafdul?
literally a legend.
Yeldan?
I'm gonna look for books about beasts that live in cold climates.
They don't really have a whole lot of bestiaries of that nature in either of the bookshops.
Okay.
The bookshops in particular seem to be primarily practical topics. There's, a number of treatises on diplomacy, farming, agriculture, animal husbandry, music, and especially compared to any place that you've been, a surprising collection of fiction. Like, fiction is not terribly common. And like, just one of these shops has more fiction than you've seen in your lifetime.
Lafdul's
Pretty
going to
much
feel
all local
compelled to
authors.
buy something.
To Radel. What was that, Lafdul?
I think Lafdul might be compelled to buy something.
Okay.
So
much
is
do
there
these books- how much do
any
these books cost?
bestiaries on the stuff that live in the green area?
Well, hold on. So, Lafdul, what kind of book are you interested in purchasing? A novel or
Adventures, particularly maybe
adventure
something
novel?
to do with dragon
so you can
and
get
a
some.
person.
You can get some relatively thin, short.
Something to read
short
actually while
stories
we're traveling.
That they sell for 5 gold. They're very short. They're just like they don't actually have covers. They're basically just bound paper.
Is they in Elvish?
Yes, some of them are.
All right,
Are these penny dreadfuls?
Kind of.
Are they all stories about invaders from other planets who cause problems?
No. Lafdul, there are more expensive ones that actually have covers that, and those go for 20 gold pieces.
And they're bigger.
Yeah, they're bigger, thicker. So
I want something that I think I can read with 3 weeks.
Oh yeah, I mean you could. They're all like compared to a modern real world novel. These are all basically short stories, even the bigger ones.
All right, now I'll get one of the best sellers for like 20 gold.
You should see if they got any stories about the Sunside.
Proprietor
basically, it's just
does recommend one. It's a heroic tale, supposedly set during the Unhuman War.
I'll get that something to read while I'm doing
It's
the
a part of a
Sunside.
series called Toy Soldiers.
20 gold, is it?
Yeah, 20 gold.
Braxon got my reference.
Yeah, available in all good bookshops.
And Yeldan, you said you were looking for other books. What were you looking for?
Stuff about creatures that live in the Greenbelt.
There aren't any.
Oh.
I mean, other than the animal husbandry books. Basically, like, and if you ask one of the proprietors, the proprietor will tell you that basically everything that lives in the ribbon is either livestock or innocuous creatures like deer, rabbits, squirrels.
Huh. Interesting. Not even wolves.
That's why they think it's a paradise.
All right.
It's a tale of... Is this fluff?
It's fluff. Yeah.
All right. Something about the
just...
unhuman wolves then.
Yeah. I mean, it's a tale of a noble swashbuckling elven captain on a man of war who constantly gets into scrapes but manages to get out by the skin of his teeth, kind of thing.
All right. Now Lafdul's interested in this book.
All right. With that, you guys wrap up for the day, go back to the ship and get some sleep?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I will, something to think about for the party, that we might need to look at our hot weather survival, because obviously my spell said something about us not dealing with the heat very well.
Do we have tarps?
We need tarps. All the tarps.
I don't know. You'll have to check.
I don't know.
I mean, I would have hoped that you would have written down the stuff that you purchased. I remember some of the stuff you purchased, but not all of it, that's for sure.
I remember,
we got sun goggles and stuff.
So the next morning, you guys will have time to do some purchasing after you talk to the people, so figure it out then. How's that?
While the spellcasters doing their spells,
oh yeah,
Braxon's going to sit cross-legged on the deck in front of the thing that's been following us.
Stan.
Then
Graden shows up quite early, so do you want to ask him to wait while you work on your spells?
Yeah, I want my spells first.
Okay, so you tell him that you're not quite ready, and
just
he
give a second.
Gets a rather annoyed look on his face, but says, "All right."
It won't take too long, hopefully.
Yeah, so Braxton's going to sit cross-legged in front of the knight that's been following us.
Okay.
And he's gonna point at him and say, "You're quite smart, you are, aren't you?"
Now, just real fast, he's basically standing on at the railing, like looking out forward.
Oh, facing outwards.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So Braxton's going to say, "Well, we're off to see some people today, but when we come back, do you want to come with us to the Sunside, or are we going to leave you here?"
It doesn't respond.
Okay.
All right. Any spells that the spellcasters are going to cast?
Not
Strength
spells that last that long.
on... Oh, it doesn't matter anymore. On Ockar.
I'm going to have create temporary healing potions. I'm going to use all my second level spells for that.
Ockar is at 1810, and you're casting Deep Pockets again?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
How much life have we gotten?
I'm sorry?
How much life have we gotten back?
I'm going to assume that in the couple days that you take after this, Lafdul will heal you all up, so you guys can all just set yourself to full right now. It's fine.
Okay.
Oh, right. I was going to
We
say
can have-
healing potion, but
Yeah, you could say use them. They'd probably.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't
should
really
have
matter.
free
By the
between you.
time, I mean, there's going to be a few days in which basically everything can be reset. Lafdul can choose choose to create a new batch of healing potions. He'll have cast healing spells to get everyone back to full. The point is that everyone will be back up to full before, when you get ready to move on to the next leg.
Yep.
This is like downtime specifically. So.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, Graydon escorts you through town. There are initially in this part of, in the public section of Reuben, 2 guards with you. But then once you get to the gate and enter the Radel section of town, the non-foreign quarter, you get surrounded by a squad of 12 additional guardsmen.
Yeah.
Oh, so there's 14 now.
Yeah.
Braxon will say hello to the 2 original guards, and then when we get more guards, he's going to say, "Wow, extra guards! I feel very honoured. Thank you."
That's how we're popular today.
Yeah, we survived.
I would cast a spell before we leave, just before we leave.
What spell?
Full speech.
Hmm?
On who?
It's cast a +1 creature level, so if I'm level 7,
It's
I'd like-
everyone!
So everyone.
everyone, yes, if possible.
Okay, and how long does the spell last?
1 hour per level.
7 hours!
Well, it depends on the level I'm casting it at.
Anyways.
Okay,
What's the spell do?
It allows us that we can speak a secret language that nobody else will understand. We do have to, however, no, we only have to touch each other while I'm casting.
Okay, let me check to see how this comes out to everyone else.
So if the spell doesn't cover us all, Ald's not going to tell us.
Maybe. I don't know. It probably.
We might get a wild surge as well. Don't forget.
Yeah, we all speak gobbledygook for 2 days.
No, it becomes
fun.
permanent or something.
All
Oh,
of you
God,
fall in love with me. How about that?
Yeah,
Okay.
I thought we'd all be fallen in love with leather.
You're 8th level, aren't you?
Yes.
Okay, so it'll be at least 8 hours, assuming nothing. All right.
I don't know
Okay.
why I'm calling it echo detection. It's bad sense.
I thought
Yeah, it
so, and
allows
yet
you-
you kept correcting yourself.
Yeah, it literally is echo sense, but the spell is bad.
All right. Okay, so
you can
Leva,
sense all the
you
bats.
cast the spell. You get everyone to touch you, or you touch them, or whatever. Must be touching each other. So you basically just form a ring, and all of you now realize that you have a special secret language that you can speak.
Lafdul approves of this.
That you can communicate to each other, and no one else will understand it.
Okay.
All right. So you get going to the meeting, and you are taken to a rather large, well-built building, marble columns, brightly decorated, large windows, and it appears to be some sort of governmental building. That would be your guess. There's quite a few people coming and going. As you're going,
Higgimus
you're
has
getting
been there
a
before.
lot of stares from the people in town. It's
We like
certainly
legends now.
not common to see, a group from outside the town coming in, kind of thing. And you are led into the building, and
Braxton's going to wave at the people staring at us and say greetings.
Come on, Braxon, come on.
Braxon wants to do it, he's doing it.
And you're led into a rather large meeting chamber with a long table. Graden, most of the guards stand outside, but the two of them, not the original two others, come in and stand at the door. And Graden introduces you to Counselor Yerif, Counselor Duranic, and Professor Nerich.
All right.
Oh, Professor.
And he says, these are the members who will be interested in taking down what you have to say. They have like sheets of paper in front of them, inkwells, stuff like that, for taking notes. There is also an additional person, specifically a scribe, at a back table with a sheaf of paper and inkwells of their own.
Can I get those names off you later?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, so should we start with the trip there and then tell them about all those monsters we fought?
Well, in a moment, you'll do it in the order that they ask. Counselor Yerif nods to you and says, "You understand that the allowances that we have granted you so far are pretty extreme, well outside the ordinary for what we do on this planet, correct?"
Yes, I
Yes,
understand that.
Of course.
Yep.
And we much appreciate them.
Mm-hmm. Well, please do. Have a seat, and we would like to know what you have discovered. He looks to you,
Give me a second.
Higgimus, and says, you are the captain of the ship of the company of the Broken Sword, correct?
That's right.
All right. Please, give us a general overview of what you've discovered.
All right. I'll proceed to tell them about the trip out, the cold, how it got colder the further we got closer to the area we're going to, the monsters that we came across, what was the surrounding area like when we came across them, the the snakes, the shades. I'll describe what they kind of did, what their patterns were, how many came out at once and that sort of thing. Then I'll describe the path that we had to take, and I'll describe the place we went to, how it was. There was like little trials we had to go through, puzzles we had to solve. Kind of give a brief description on each of the puzzles we had to solve. I'll also explain how we got the golem thing that started to follow us. And then how we came across, once we got to the end, we came across what was the name of that creature again?
So, Rhaegar.
Radar. Or that is.
Oh yeah.
I'll copy and paste what I wrote in my
Radar.
book if you want for notes.
Radar.
Oh,
Yeah.
wait. Hang
Rhaegar.
on.
Rygar.
Rygar.
Well,
Rhaegar.
Old says it's pronounced
Rhaegar.
differently.
Sorry, everybody was saying like a different pronunciation. Rhaegar. Okay, I'll say that. And how it said that it set up these trials so that it would deem whether or not people are worthy to see its final creation. That it said that it made like this place and other places. I'll list off a few of the other places. Like I think it said Hero Space, right?
Mm.
No, it didn't say it made them. It says you have seen.
Yeah, and it was mentioning one particular sphere in particular.
And you have yet to see
Or not,
the
was it
grandest.
sphere? Or
Yeah.
Yeah, it
didn't
was
say
called.
made them.
what do you call it? These
It was called
Areas.
Panopa Space.
yeah, Panopa
Yeah.
space, but I forgot what we call these. Something spaces, aren't they?
Crystal
Anyway.
Spheres.
Crystal spheres, yeah.
In the end, it said we need to complete the other trial on the other side, and it would give us the details on where this other place was. And then we had made our way back, and we encountered a few different things as well. Some stronger undead things and that sort of stuff.
All right. So when you finish the overview, the four Redolians kind of cluster together and whisper amongst themselves, and
Can I
then
make this check?
I'll also mention that a couple of people did take notes along the way, and we did bring back a pelt of one of the monsters that we could bring back from.
Oh yeah, we brought some trophies
okay.
that we haven't really dealt with. They've kind of been defrosting.
Okay, so you said that first, and then they start whispering. Lafdul, they are whispering too quietly.
I thought I'd try
Oh
anyway.
yeah, I
to
forgot.
hear-
I
overhear
didn't
it.
mention it. But...
Especially
Well,
considering
they-
that there's a whole bunch of people in the room. You know,
Is there any particular word that gets repeated a lot?
no, you can't pick out anything. They're very quiet.
Wouldn't those trophies be on our sledge?
No, I said you pack everything up, and I got the kind of confirmation from you guys. So you packed everything
Yeah.
up. You didn't
Okay.
accidentally leave anything other than the sled.
You broke up though when she was saying that
Okay.
to me, at least.
Question: do you want me to roll the leather working for the hide for the day before? Because I kind of did forget that it needed to be done when we got back.
Yeah, sure. You can go ahead and roll for that. That's fine. Yeah, so you were able to preserve it at least well enough to hand it over to them.
Yep.
So after they've consulted with each other, Yarif looks to you again, Higgimus, and says, "You said a Rhaegar. You saw a Rhaegar there."
Image of one, yes.
Yeah, I think it was a Rhaegar.
There's a deep sigh and kind of an eye roll. Always interfering. All right, now we'll get to that in a moment. Now, could
Sir,
we get
do
some
you
more
have a
information
picture?
about the creatures that you discovered? Who were the ones who took the notes?
I'll
I'll
point
Liam.
to
that I have.
Yeldan here in Lafdul.
Okay, real fast. We will want copies of these notebooks that you've taken. Obviously, you'll be wanting them.
I will pass
the-
them over to the scribe if he wants to do that.
Yeah, well, let him finish.
Yeah.
Oh.
We will want to, it'll take some time to copy, so we will need to take these today, and then we'll return them to you so you can further take notes before you head to the sun side. Is that acceptable?
Yep.
Yep.
Yes.
Now, could we learn some more about the creatures that you encountered? Professor Narich here is quite interested in these things. Very few people go to the sun side and dark side and ever return. Certainly no one in our memory. So anything that you have discovered there could be quite dangerous and important for us to know about.
Well, we
Question.
Yeah, what kind of question? Are you asking them a question or are you asking me a question?
No. Question to... This is Lafdul to recall a rule. Is there any rule specifically stating about what might be considered a bit blasphemic? I don't know how to pronounce that word, blasphemic. As in, because I've made I can literally summon a ghost version of that creature that I killed, would me being able to cast that, so to speak, to show him what literally that creature is, would that be considered like a heresy to them? Would it be interpreted as such?
You don't know, but you can tell them that you can...
Yeah, alright, no, I will. Here goes nothing.
just
You
tell
tell
them
them?
first.
Well,
Yeah, no, I
Yeah.
tell them that I have the ability to draw
well,
out one of
first,
them.
so when they ask about the you say it's acceptable, they then want more information. So first they turn to Yeldan and say, please give us more information about these creatures and your impressions as well.
Okay. Well, I'll go over first the first thing we encounter, basically in order. So the woolly Arctic serpent, how I described it, which we have the hide. which I managed to get the hide of.
Professor Nerich breaks in at that point and says, "Oh, you managed to bring back a hide? Oh, that would be quite valuable. It preserved well."
Yeah, I was able to preserve it quite well.
Well, we would like to we will require that pelt.
All right.
Fine. Yeah, it's fine. It's a small loss.
do go
It's Braxon interjects and says, "It tasted very nice as well."
You act like a savage.
I was gonna. You're gonna.
They kind of give Braxon a rather strange look, but then Nerich
tried
does
to kill us.
motion to you, Yeldan, to continue on.
I explained that it seemed like it was a snake / reptile of some sort that's able to survive in the cold. That it did have a venom, but we were not able to retrieve the venom. It is edible. And then we'll go on to next creature, which was the undead shadowy beings made of shadow and light. I don't know much about that other than them.
I can explain the shadows because I'm a paladin. I have a bit of knowledge about the undead, so I'll explain what I know about about those shadowy undead to the people.
Filling in the gaps.
At that point, Counselor Duranic interjects and says, "About how many did you face? It sounded like there were quite a few."
More than 10.
Yeah, more than a dozen.
They start whispering amongst themselves.
We thought they're probably the prisoners that you've sent off. They've just come back as shadows.
Counselor Yerif says, "If so, that would essentially be, unless they've clustered from all across the planet into just that one point, and they just happen to encounter you, that would be almost all of the people that we've sent over there in the past 50 years or so. Seems like a bit of a coincidence."
There was a couple of stronger ones as well.
Yeah, they did something pretty bad to Braxton that we had to go to a temple to fix.
Yeah.
And you're sure they were undead?
I used a special candle of mine that actively harms undead, and it did significant damage to them.
We were burning up from it.
Yeah. The holy energy was killing them.
Counselor Yerif nods thoughtfully, as if that makes sense to him.
Did you mention that it sapped the strength of people?
That was
it was the details of them.
Mm-hmm. I explained all the details of what the undead were to them.
This is it is a bit worrying.
Was there?
But sir, he points to you again, Yeldan, or motions to you again, and says, "Please continue on with the other things that you discovered."
Okay, the next was the white ooze creature, right? That split when we cut it. It seemed acidic in nature. Not much details other than it was white and blended quite well in with the snow and ice.
Oh, that's where Lafdul mentions that he's got some of the acid in the vial. He produces the vial, offers it to them to look at.
Professor Nerich says, we will require that as well."
Yeah, and I figured he'd want everything I offer him, so I don't mind giving up these things.
He eagerly takes it.
I'm doing this for like brownie points, so to speak.
Okay. And then he motions to Yeldan to continue again.
The next creature we encountered was a giant polar centipede. Is the only way that I could describe it. It had wing-like appendages, and it was in itself extremely generated from its own body. And then after we killed it, it started to decompose rather quickly compared to the how a creature would normally decompose such condition.
Interesting.
we
Lafdul,
weren't
you're
able to
pulling
really
out one of the
salvage
vials for that?
anything.
Yeah,
Okay.
only one of them.
It's not warm anymore. It's not hot anymore.
Well, it's just acid. Yeah, but he can.
Yeah, no,
It's
I'm just letting
believable.
you know for your personal.
Yeah, the acid's probably diluted.
Professor Nerich eagerly takes that as well.
I say it's no longer warm. I guess it must have deleted over time.
Please continue.
And the last thing is, the only way I can really describe it was a worm that was over 100 feet long, had 8-inch teeth, a venomous stinger. Its mouth was big enough it could eat Higgimus whole.
Embellish the details.
The
I have one of the teeth. I say as I hold up one of the teeth from the monster.
Counselor Duranic whistles like a wow kind of thing.
Yeah, I say it's like lethal poison.
And when you produce the tooth, Ockar, Professor Nerich eagerly says, "Oh, we certainly need that sample as well."
I will give it to him.
It actually swallowed me whole, but
I mentioned to the professor, you should come along with us. You'd be fascinated by the stuff we find out there.
His face kind of goes white at that, and he's like, "No, I have much too pressing matters here."
Maybe we could get a contract. You know, we go out there to gather stuff for you.
We aren't going to be on Randall forever, remember?
Yeah, I know. I thought I'd offer.
we do have places to be.
That I think those are all the creatures we encountered.
There was that lake. I don't think anyone's mentioned the lake.
I've mentioned it in my notes. If you look up on it.
Yeah, there's that lake that instantly froze part of it when you threw a rock in.
Right, but Yeldan is talking about his notes right now. So
okay.
Yeah, Yeldan's notes basically only covers the creatures we encountered.
Professor Nerich then says, and there were no creatures inside the this complex with the traps and things.
Oh yeah, there was
They
that.
have magical elementals.
They had like There was one monster near the end when we were leaving. It was like this giant reptilian monster that was summoned up to try to kill us as the room filled up with this quick freezing liquid.
It had like an aura of code that instantly harmed anyone that went near it.
We weren't able to get a sample as the complex was in the middle of being filled up flooded. And the entrance is now frozen solid.
The professor's face just kind of like falls at the mention that you weren't able to recover any samples from that creature.
We didn't have time.
Oh, he doesn't say anything. He doesn't like say, "Well, you should have," or anything like that. He's just visibly sad that you weren't able to bring him back a sample.
Yeah.
That's all I have. That is quite detailed notes. We do thank you. Now he turns to you, Lafdul, and says, "I understand that you were also taking notes. What do you have to share from your notes?"
The creatures are more or less the same as my friend Yeldan's. There's some particular other notes, I guess. I could mention.
Do share. Please.
I mentioned about this unusual water that whenever it was in contact with an object, it would instantly freeze. I try to give as much detail about that as I can. Then I go on to the mention of the complex, basically. Because I don't think I have any other creatures, because I'm just going with what Yeldan said, basically, other than the dust. Was it the void elemental?
Yeah, there was a void elemental that we fought because we failed one of the puzzles.
Those tentacle things in that negative plane passage.
Yeah.
Oh, that was the sand passage.
No, that was the negative plane passage. That the tentacles.
Yeah, we went through this like magical webbing, and we went into the. I could only understand it as like another dimension of some description. We weren't here. Does Lafdul know about plane shifting?
Yeah.
All right, then I say we went to another plane of existence temporarily. And we fought creatures from the other planes, though.
So it is your belief that this complex was partially on another plane.
Yeah, the
Several.
planes disappear. Yeah, I mentioned about the whole complex as I got in my book there. About it had puzzles on the elemental planes.
And this Rhaegar at the end, did he say he created it?
Oh, I
Kind of.
don't remember.
He said that the entire thing was
He's-
a test to find paradise.
Yeah, it's a test to find paradise. So it was alien in nature, I can only assume. He obviously constructed it.
Graddon interjects there. Well, why would you need to find paradise when we already have it here?
But we think he
I
meant
don't
like
think
Paradise might be different.
we think he means like if you win both tests, you'll get like a destination to another crystal sphere or something that the Rhaegar considered paradise. This place is like paradise to us, but maybe the Rhaegar thought something else was considered paradise to them.
It was more like an art project type of thing, is what he was
Yeah.
describing it as. Like
A
his
weird
final
art project.
masterpiece,
Yeah. It was
not necessarily
kinda hard.
paradise.
It was kind of hard to wrap my head around what he was
We all
saying.
know of Rhaegars and their legends of paradise or their eccentric nature.
Yeah.
Now, did this image or whatever it was say when he created this? We may need to take a look through our records to see if we've had any recent visits from Rhaegar.
Not
No.
really.
No.
He was able to speak all of our native tongues at once.
Yeah.
Counselor Yareth kind of waves that away. Yes. I mean, that's magic. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't believe he said when this was.
Yeah,
was there
he-
any indication that you were able to glean, perhaps from the complex itself or anything like that, on maybe a general age?
Hundreds of years.
Yeah, very, very old, but still
It was
very
magically
well kept.
maintained, so
Yeah.
there was no way to get an exact determination.
Why
I mean,
why
it
do
was
you
using
believe it was
architecture none of us
hundreds
ever
years?
saw. Because it was using architecture none of us had ever experienced before. It's possible it could just be a Rhaegar thing, but it was very odd.
What'd you say, Old?
Why do you believe it was hundreds of years? What about it made you think it was that old?
Should we tell them about the small library?
Yeah, we could base it on the books, the age of the
Yeah,
books.
we found these books. This
Oh, wow.
library off to the side that were most of the books were kind of rotted away.
Were you able to recover any of these books?
I mentioned
Only
the ones
ones
that
in
we
the-
can't read.
Only ones in a language we are unable to understand.
Professor Nerich leans forward. Oh, well, I'd like to see those. Add them to our collection. It would certainly be useful to try to decipher them. Do you know what language they were in, perhaps, even if you couldn't read them?
I look over to Leva.
Guess
He looks
we
over to
offer
Leva
up-
as well.
Leva
since you're
says
looking-
no.
You don't know what language they were in?
Nope.
All right. Well,
No.
we will need to take those for our collection. See if we can decipher what they are about. Now, you said that there were other books that they what collapsed or what?
They
They
were
were all destroyed. These
They
were
were
only the only
destroyed,
books that we
illegible,
were
molded.
able to collect.
basically unusable in any way.
Mm-hmm. And you said that the complex was destroyed when you finished.
Well, it was completely and utterly frozen over. I mean, if someone dug through the place, they could eventually get to them. But you'd be digging through magical ice that I mentioned.
And
Assuming
it's
it-
possible that it's still constantly flooding with the liquid. So even if you were able to dig it out, you just let more of the liquid out.
So what triggered this magical freezing liquid to fill the place?
It was the
Final
final test. As we're leaving, it came in the same room that we encountered that lizard, the mini-legged lizard thing.
Yeah,
Mm.
it was considered a final test, and when the final test activated, the place also started filling up with the liquid.
So we had to run out. And all the magical enchantments that was holding the place together kind of dissipated. So it's now just a structure that's no longer magically enchanted, so it'll wither away in time.
I mean, even the enchantments keeping things warm in there were starting to go away as we got to the exit.
Were you able to get any schematics or take any, draw any maps of what the place looked like?
We wouldn't have a complete map because there were some portions where they give you two paths and completely block off the paths you didn't take.
No, that's fair. That's fair. I'm just
I did have some notes of this because I kind of rewrote my notes, so to speak, but I did have like the beginning descriptions of like the various rooms.
Yeah.
And the passageways. So I suppose I would have had a map.
Yeah.
So, could you go into a little bit more detail on what these tests or traps required you to do, or...
Well,
there were puzzles on the elemental planes.
There were some of them were doors that gave us riddles, like lips would form on the doorway, and they would give us a riddle.
And we had to answer them. Like here's one example: stinging, shredded, born on the wind, the leaving of time and death, lifeless. The wasting of deterioration, all things become this in the end, and we answered with the word dust. That was one riddle.
There was Professor Nerich says, "Oh, clever, clever." That's in your notes, sir.
Yeah.
There was an entire hallway that I solved. There were these panels on the floor, and these images on each side of the wall, each one representing a different plane. And you had to work out which panel on the floor you had to step on with each step based on the pictures on the walls for each one.
Do your notes indicate which ones you had to step on in the off chance that this ice could be excavated?
Well,
when we ran, it didn't matter which one we stood on. Well, they were just all disabled.
Better to be safe than sorry, though.
Well, I imagine...
No, I did not keep notes of that.
That's unfortunate. That is unfortunate.
Well, I can tell you what I did to figure it out, kinda.
Oh, yes, please do.
Basically, I did it like a canceling out kind of thing. Like, imagine if you had, like, one plane that's positive element, like, positive and one plane that's negative. Then you had the positive and negative cancel each other out, and then you combine the two elements into something. So if it was like water and fire, that would be prime material. But if it was water and earth, it'd be ooze or something.
Would you be willing to write this up a short treatise on this matter before you head to the sun side?
Sure, I could do that.
Thank you. That would be quite valuable to add to our notes.
Okay.
Counselor Duranic then says, "Now, so this whole thing is, you said it seemed to be some sort of test to lead you somewhere. How are you to be led there? What's the? Did they give you a map, or did you give you an item?
There's an item. Yeah, we can mention the item.
We found a map and a key.
And that's what we used to gain entrance to this place.
Yeah, the map shows us a place on the cold side and on the hot side.
And the key has changed slightly in order to fit into the sun side, we can only assume.
Yeah.
Or will further change once we get to
when we got to the last chamber, there was a addition that they had there to attach to the key we had.
They gave us another object that they told us to take to the sun side and get the object there and combine it all together.
Did you happen to bring this item with you today?
Yes.
With you, Ockar.
I have all the items with me. I will show them the key, the item we got from the cold side, and the map.
All right, so you put it out on the table, let them examine it?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They spend about 15 minutes examining it, turning them over in their hands.
Have you seen anything like this?
Professor Nerich says, "No, I've never seen anything exactly like this. I don't recognize what this might be. You believe that you'll get something else on the other side? Is that what you're saying?
That's what they insinuated, that we would get another object like this on the sun side if we passed the test there.
And this was specifically given to you by the image of the Rhaegar.
Yeah.
The second piece was.
Yeah, the second
first
piece.
piece was found with the map on a. Where did we
Oh,
get
is
the
the
map?
golem? Is the golem following us?
No, it did not come with you.
I think we found the map and the key in a beholderkin layer.
No, that was on a goblin ship.
Oh no, wait, yeah, it was on a goblin ship.
Wonder why the goblins had it. Interesting.
They must have left this sphere.
Or
Well, I
looted
don't
it
know
for
if they
somebody
came
else.
from here. They freaking could have got it from anyone, killed people for it.
Yeah, they
sell
probably
looters.
traded for it all.
Yeah, they probably just stole from somebody or looted something.
It would make sense for goblins. Where did you encounter these goblins?
Same prowl space.
Crawl space.
Oh, okay. All right.
Quite far.
All right. Well, you are welcome to hold on to these items again. We will have much to discuss. Were there any other objects that you found there? Anything else that you took? Anything else to show us that we could investigate?
We had a tile, didn't we? One of us kept a tile.
Yeah, we kept a tile from the first room.
That person will have to mention that if they have, because I haven't
wait,
got it.
did we?
I don't know if Lever kept
I thought it was
tile.
Braxon
we
who
didn't
took it.
keep it. We used it.
Yeah,
I thought Braxon
yeah,
took a tile.
We had to use the tiles to.
Oh, right. We had to use
the
the tiles
puzzle.
for the puzzle.
Yeah, we never
used
kept the
every single
tiles
one.
afterwards.
We had to use all of them. So the tiles aren't with us anymore.
Did you happen to keep notes on which tiles opened up the door? Exactly how you had to do that?
Well, sort of.
Kinda?
It's a screenshot of the of what we wrote then.
Yeah, kinda.
I did not write that down.
I mean,
I
it
wasn't
kind of,
sure if we were supposed to write down every single puzzle, everything.
kind
I
of-
was going like overboard on this.
It
It
wasn't
kind of
a
worked along-
supposed to. It was a. It's up to you, and you
I have
may
some
risk
memory
them getting
of.
mad at you.
I have
It
some
was-
memory of the tile puzzle. I will add it in my notes. It kind of relates to my puzzle as well.
We would appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Braxon says if this place does reset itself and you go there, do be warned that not all the rooms are inhabitable.
Like
There was
there's
at
a
least
corridor
one-
of dust.
What do you mean by
and-
that?
Yeah. Well, there was at least one that had no air in. It was like
Yeah, but that
back
was
to the
disabled.
wild space.
Well, it was a corridor of the element of void.
Yeah, and there was another one that was sapping the life out of me as I tried to pass down it.
I know, element of vacuum. Vacuum's the right one. Yeah, not void. Vacuum.
That was negative plane.
That had some sort of creatures in it that started attacking me. I
That's
can't
what I
tell
was
what they were.
mentioning.
Yeah,
They
I couldn't see them.
We used a bit of a magic to discover them. They had these tentacles.
And you didn't happen to get a piece of this creature?
They disappeared right after we killed them.
All
Yeah.
the elemental type creatures that we had to face that were in this place did seem to not disappear. Is that the right word?
Yeah, kind of.
Dematerialize. Once they
It does
were
tend to be
sustained enough
typical
damage.
for summons. It is unfortunate that you weren't able to get anything. It would have been quite valuable to add to our collections. Yareth then speaks up and turns to Braxon and says, do you have any further things to add? Anything forgotten, missed by the others that you feel need to mention?
This room where we think we saw a Rhaegar, and if you have a picture of one, we could confirm if it is a Rhaegar or not.
Duranic says, I don't think so. They all look different.
Right. It was a gigantic spherical room that had the appearance of a crystal sphere.
Oh,
Like an astrolabe, wasn't it?
I spent some, yeah, it was a bit like that. I spent some time walking around the planets. I didn't touch them, and then I realised later they were being projected somehow. It had stars and constellations on the inside.
We also kind of thought that each planet represented a different elemental plane, but that may not entirely be the case. We weren't entirely sure.
I believe the Rygar said it was called Panopus Space, but I've never heard of that crystal sphere.
The three kind of lean in together and talk amongst themselves and turn back and say, "Yeah, none of us have heard of that either."
It must be like something that this specific Rygar found, or something that only the Rygar know about.
Yeah,
Could
there's
be.
always a sphere out there that no one knows about, no doubt.
There certainly are many spheres out there that people don't know about.
Well, I was looking at the planets because it seemed like we were supposed to go somewhere. And I was trying to work out which planet in this crystal sphere that we don't know of we're meant to go to after we finish up here.
Do you think that this next place that you'll be going to in the Sunside may have more clues in that regard?
Probably.
Yeah, we should be able to get a conclusion.
I think so, yeah.
All right, that's good to know. Any further things that you would add, sir?
I'm not sure if the sort of creature thing that followed us away wants to go with us to the Sunside or not. But I think it will also, if it does, I think it may also want to follow us to our next part of the quest.
It's currently sitting on our ship, just
sitting. The weird
We can't
golem
command
that
it.
we found outside the complex that's just been following us.
Duranic says, "You're welcome to it. It's certainly not our work."
Yeah.
At that, Yareth then turns to Leva and says, "You, Madame, any further notes that you would add? Anything that your companions have missed or forgotten?"
Well, I took the sequence of the mosaic tiles in the beginning. I wrote that down, and I took a copy of all the puzzles. If you want that.
Oh, indeed, we would.
I mean,
Want that
the
information.
actual the poems, the verses.
Yes, we would be
The
much
riddles.
appreciative to get that information.
And I think that's it. The rest is as the others tell.
You don't have anything that your companions may have forgotten, you think?
No, well, I just said what I still have, but that's it.
Right. And you, sir, he then turns to you, Ockar. How about you? Anything that your companions may have forgotten or missed? Any further thoughts that you have that may not have occurred to them?
Not that I can think of at the moment.
Braxon puts a finger up and closes his eyes and puts his finger on his head and mutters, "Green and blue with shades of white, 4 worlds sharing an orbit, light blue, dark blue, brown and grey-red. 4 worlds sharing a second orbit, white tinged pale, blue muddy brown, 8 worlds sharing a third orbit in pairs, dull white sphere, swirling white sphere, swirling brown sphere, grey tinged black sphere." That's all I can remember.
Yeah, these are the mosaics.
Oh, please, would you be willing to write down what you have, what you remembered? Sir? Would you be willing to write that down?
I think you're talking to Braxon.
Yeah.
Yeah, we know Braxon. Yeah, sometimes he dazes off into space.
Yeah, certainly.
I help you with the ones you might not have gotten.
I would have a suggestion for you, sirs.
Mm-hmm.
I hear it's your custom to send people condemned to death to this place, and if they're turning into undead, you might want to reconsider that.
Eventually, the undead might come back towards you.
Well,
Yeah.
that is certainly something to consider.
How many were sent on the sun side?
We will definitely want to know about what you encounter on the sun side. That may affect what we choose to do. Since we send.
I thought they didn't send people to the sun side.
No, they do.
Oh, okay.
Are they going to disclose how many they sent vaguely?
I don't think that's in their power to disclose.
No, we
Alright.
are not going to.
Well, we'll tell you
disclose
what
that
we find
information.
over there, no doubt.
Yes. How many days do you think you'll need to recuperate and resupply before you'd be ready to go?
Well,
Days.
a few days. We need to figure out exactly
Yes,
what
how many days?
I'm gonna say 2 to 3.
3 days then?
3 days.
3 days. We need to buy supplies and figure out what we still need to get over there safely.
All right.
I'll look over to the spellcasters, and I'll say 3 days. Okay with you?
Yeah.
Okay, 3 days.
All right, we'll
I do
have
even need 3
a
days,
ship
but-
ready to meet you. Graden here will take you to a point close to the sun side and get you going. You understand that we won't actually fly you very deep into that area for our own protection and because of the weather out there.
I imagine that it's not exactly that safe for ships to go flying in there.
Lafdul will make the question, may I be allowed to visit an elven temple within your regular city? No, I'm in the restricted area. I'm a priest of the elven deities, and I would very much appreciate to visit my own kind, my own inner temple.
We will ask. I'm not sure if there are any open elven
I
temples
thought
in
they
this
did.
section of town. In this town,
Yeah.
there
I
is
think
an
we
elven
got
city many miles away, but I don't know
There
that
is?
you'd be able to. We'd
Oh.
allow a stop off there.
Fair enough.
I talked to. I asked those people if they'd mind very much if I quickly talked to my colleagues for a bit, and I turned to the others. I said, "Did anyone mention
They haven't
that?"
actually agreed to that. You might want to wait for a response.
Okay.
Yes, you can talk amongst yourselves. We need to discuss a few things anyway. They move off into the far end of the chamber.
Okay. I'll talk in full speed, and
If we're far
So
enough
has
away,
it-
it won't matter.
Yeah, but we're still
That's
talking
still-
it in case they got
Alright.
scrying devices.
so I asked, has anyone actually mentioned that on our trip back it was warmer than it was on the trip there?
I
Yeah,
think
I
it
don't
was
think
getting
we-
warmer in
I
the
did
sense
mention
that
that when I did mention that when I was giving my report about how
I thought it was only getting warmer because people were making.
We
it way
seem
back
to have
the
noticed a
side.
change.
Yeah, it
Mhm.
was getting.
I think we're destroying that paradise. But we need to be
No.
wording that carefully.
I don't think
it
we
was-
are. We were. It was getting warmer because as we're going there, it was getting colder, and as we're coming back, it was getting warmer.
Yeah.
but the
that's
wind
right.
changed
think it
direction.
wasn't just. I think it wasn't just that.
No.
What?
I think it was because people started taking actual damage from the cold as we got closer to our destination. And then people stopped taking that damage as we got closer to the mountains.
Yeah.
I get the feeling there were like bands of coldness, with the coldness getting worse and worse and being more harmful.
Further away we got from the green belt. Yeah, I agree. And it's going to be
Yeah.
the same thing in the desert.
It'll get hotter and hotter and hotter, and then cooler and cooler and cooler, depending on which way we go.
I am not looking
Well,
forward
my
to this.
impression was that it was actually warmer than as it had been at the same space when we went there.
I don't think
Well,
so.
I think
dwarves-
it get warmer.
The dwarves thought it was cold when they had the door open. They were quite
Yeah,
keen
that's
to get the
'cause-
door shut.
That's just a natural reaction now. That's not anything particular.
Well,
Oh
we
yeah, but
won't
they
know.
didn't say that it was warmer than it was when we left.
Well, we won't know until we finish the hot side if anything's really happening. And then,
gradual anyway.
yeah,
I don't think we did anything, and I don't think that it was just the opposite of what we did on the way there.
Yeah.
As
I
far as
don't
the
see.
temperature stuff goes.
It's funny how the spellcasters think otherwise.
Yeah, the spellcasters think that what we're doing is like maybe restarting the orbit or something.
Mm-hmm. Also, I think it's a pity that someone that you mentioned books, but what's done is done.
That's why I was like, yeah, only ones we can't read, please.
That's why I only mentioned ones we can't read.
I don't think you were going to mention that, though.
I was. You gotta trust me
Why?
sometimes.
Oh well.
All right, so
I
you're
was
done
only gonna
talking amongst
mention ones
yourselves.
we can't read.
Are you done?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there anything further that you want to? All right. Well, my voice connection has just gone red. Do I sound bad?
I can
No.
hear you.
Okay. So is there anything further that you want to mention to the Redolians?
Mm-mm.
I can't think of anything.
Okay.
No.
Yeah.
We're not mentioning the items we're keeping.
All right.
Rings.
Counselor
what items?
Yerif comes back to you and says, "Those items that you've agreed to hand over, those that you did not bring with you, I assume you did not bring those books that you were speaking of. Graydon will pick those up when he takes you back to your vessel. But your notebooks, we would like to hold on to those today.
Yep.
Yeah, they want to make
I'll leave
copies,
my
so...
note there.
We'll return
Yeah,
them
that-
to you on the day that that Graydon comes to take you back to take you over to the Sunside. Is that satisfactory?
Yep.
Yeah. I do have a suggestion that
Mhm.
you can take or not take, and that's if you do decide you want to send people to the dark side, perhaps have some sort of labor and get them to build a camp as a waypoint, rather than send them all the way on this long journey that we went on, where they're most likely to die. That way you could.
execution.
Well, I don't know. I mean, it's a sort of they could perform a useful duty, and they could perhaps build a small fortress for you further out, and then build another one further along.
Way stations.
Yeah, it would still be very risky. It would still be a severe punishment.
They got nothing to build with.
Well, you'd have to supply them, with.
And what's to stop them from rebelling?
I'm just saying it would be a way. It would be a way to change something from a certainty of death into a useful service for your planet.
So, Lafdul, you were interrupting Braxon while he was suggesting this.
No, I was just mumbling to myself.
I think he was.
Yeah, because
I think he was.
Braxon was talking directly to them, and you were talking to Braxon. They basically wave you off and say, "What we choose to do with our prisoners is our business. What you choose to do with anyone mutineers on your vessel, that is your business. We care not. But please do not suggest to us ways on how we should handle things." Graydon will escort you back to your vessel.
Thank you for your time.
All right. That ended up taking, basically a significant portion of the day. It's once again late afternoon. Any further things that you want to purchase? You might want to discuss what current items you have, so that you can discuss whether anyone has any suggestions on further items to purchase.
I make a mention to the crew that I found a fiction store if anyone wants me to grab some books for them. They got to pay for it themselves, though.
Most of them
I'm
look
just
at
doing
you
this for fluff.
A couple of them look at you like, you think we can read?
Oh, some of you looked promising,
So, things I have done here are those goggles, the desert clothing stuff. What's that called? I
Abba?
just have it written down. Yeah. The
You got a mask.
the canteens. What else is here?
Lots of water.
Oh yeah. We can also make water every day. At least I can.
So, who is going to be equipped with what? That is kind of also the question, because it was pretty clear that not everyone was making proper notes of how much food they were eating. So keep in mind that if you're not making proper notes of how much water you're drinking, that means you're not drinking water.
I had 14 days of rations down.
No,
rations.
I'm not worried about that. I'm just saying going forward in the sun
Water's
side,
going to
which
matter
is
so much more.
going to be very hot.
Yeah.
You guys are going to need to make sure that you're adequately hydrated. Yes.
How much water does...
We had a load of big containers, but...
All right, so we got that. We have the... That's actually all I have written down. Was there like a tent thing that were bought? Tents?
I do
special
remember
tents?
that you specifically purchased something like a water catch cloth or something like that.
Oh, right, yes. Okay, so I have that. Just trying to see where I got this.
I don't remember anything else that anyone specifically purchased.
How much water does a person drink
I remember looking.
per day?
I can barely hear you, Yeldan.
Oh, helps if I put my microphone down. I remember going through and going through the Ranger's handbook and mentioning some sort of proper gear you would wear in hot climates. So
It's loose robe, so you got air flowing through to keep cool. We got
Yeah, I
that, we
mentioned
got
that.
stuff. Do we have we had like hats or masks or something, didn't we?
The
Got this, like,
robes
head-
are hood. I mean, you've got they're full covers.
sunglasses
Sunglasses.
or
Hmm.
whatever the equivalent of would be.
Yep, the goggles. I have those.
The Tinkernoon goggles.
So yeah, the water catch thing, so we can capture all the water that we create. Also, I want to have like a tarp type thing so that we can block out the sun. Not like a tent, because we want still open, but something to give us shade.
Okay.
We need a
Umbrella
lot
type
of
thing.
tarp.
An
Not
umbrella type thing.
necessarily.
Parasol.
Parasols, yep.
So you can get a good like heavy duty canvas tarp for about 5 coppers.
Okay.
It's actually considerably cheap. Why is it so cheap?
Because it's
You
just
need poles?
canvas. It's
Yeah,
just a
it's
big
just
section of
poles to-
canvas.
to-
Canvas is super cheap.
We also need poles for it. There's no point in having a canvas on the floor.
Well, we
Yeah,
can
we
put
have
it
to-
on our new sled that
still
we're no
have
doubt going
all-
to acquire.
We still had all those poles that we bought before we got a sled.
We have a wagon for the other side.
Do we?
Yeah,
For
Yeah.
the hot side, yeah, we already bought a wagon.
yeah.
All right, so we have that. We got the poles. The ground might be hot. Some sort of insulation for sleeping. So we're not.
How
on the
about
hot
we
ground.
take extra containers
That's
for
what the
water
bed
in
rolls
case
are
we
for.
lose, in case they get destroyed,
Yeah.
or some
Yeah.
repair material at least.
Well, we got a crew. We got all those water barrels we use on our ship. We can use some of those.
Are you
Yeah.
carrying the water barrel?
No, we
No,
can
it's
put
on
it on
the
the
wagon.
cart.
Yeah, that's what the cart's
Uh,
for.
All right.
Is it a car or is it a wagon? Because they're very
It's a
different.
wagon. It has a cover and everything. I would imagine. Because we bought it specifically for going for the hot side.
It can't be wheels, surely, because it won't be able to go on sand.
What
Who
makes
said it
you
was
think
all sand
things
there?
with the
Oh,
wheels
alright.
can't go on sand?
Don't give all the ideas.
Like,
So the
where did
big
that
question
come
though
from?
is like how much water are people individually carrying and in what also?
How much
let
water are
me
we
see.
drinking per day?
We had
Depends on how hot it gets.
Yeah, and you're not really sure how much you're going to be drinking out there.
so double, maybe triple what we regularly drink. So
Yeldan, I know Yeldan has 2 water skins.
I've got a water skin. I might have to buy more because obviously
Actually,
we
yeah.
had those. We
Both-
had those big water skins, but I never wrote any of the clothing stuff on our character sheets other than the rations.
That's kind of a problem.
Oh, actually, no. I
We
have
were carrying
3
it on the wagon.
Yeah, but if it didn't get written down...
All right, I
I
will
have,
write down the water skin.
Never mind. I have 3 water skins. And also, how much do bowstrings cost here?
there's still just a copper piece.
Copper piece 5, was it?
It'll be a copper piece each.
Okay.
All right, I will buy 2 more water skins. Regular
Okay.
ones.
Bye.
So 1 gallon water skins.
Yeah.
You can also get half-gallon canteens.
And the
What's the
canteen's
canteen?
better.
Is that metal?
Well, it's rigid as opposed to like a skin. So they're mostly wood or clay or something like that.
Does leather burn up in hot environments?
Depends on the temperature. I mean, think about Fahrenheit 451.
It'll become brittle, won't it? And it would tear up.
If they're filled, then they'll be fine.
Yeah.
You could put a paper cup in a fire as long as it's filled up with water, and it won't burn that easily.
I was like, eventually it'll burn.
When I was in Boy Scouts, we would boil our eggs, put them in a paper cup, put them in the fire.
I guess the water would bubble over and
How much
recool
does
it.
a canteen cost?
They're selling canteens, half-gallon canteens for 10 gold pieces.
10 gallon? Jesus.
It's a lot more effort in making a stoppered canteen that's covered in cloth with a strap than it is to make a water skin.
Alright, 10 gold each, and only half a gallon. I'm gonna need like 6 of these.
Well, you can get 1 gallon water skins and 3 gallon water skins instead, if you want.
So
I imagine the ones I already have are 1 gallon ones.
Probably. If you didn't make a note.
How much
Yeah.
is the canteen? Half
10
a
gold
gallon.
pieces.
Sorry, no. How much water?
Half gallon.
We'll buy everybody blindfolds or sleeping masks, I guess.
Alright, I'm gonna buy 6 canteens for myself.
How much does a canteen weigh? So
Yeah, no, if these like half
Right,
gallon, how
but I
much
mean,
would-
if you're concerned about water volume, you can get the 3 gallon or get 1 gallon water skins.
I don't know how much water you need to survive on a day.
Well, and you
You
won't really
can
know how
stop-
much.
It's not like we're gonna. It's the way the travel works. It's not like we're gonna be
Half
constantly
gallon,
traveling,
apparently.
stopping. Like, and we can refill easily.
Yeah.
I'm only getting 2.
Let me check to see how many I have, because I haven't checked that. So
I'll tell you guys what I have. I have 4 of those canteens, and then I also have a water skin. 1 gallon water
have
skin.
Alright, I will
Yeah.
mimic that, so I will get 4 canteens and another water skin.
I have 2 water skins and a 3-gallon water skin that I got in Brawl and a half-gallon canteen.
Yeah, that's a 3-gallon water skin that I didn't write down on my character sheet. So we all got one of them.
Yeah, I got one of them. I got 2 other water skins, and I've got a canteen. Should I buy like a few more canteens?
Hmm.
How much is a canteen?
10
10
gold
gold.
each.
Okay, I'll buy like 2 more canteens.
How much are the water skins?
1 gallon water skin will be 12 silver pieces, and a 3 gallon water skin will be 3 gold pieces.
12 silver pieces or 3 gold pieces for.
The other's
Three
only
gold.
getting 2 canteens. Like you guys are going overboard by getting more than 2.
3 gold pieces is for a 3 gallon.
I have this thing called Abyss.
Abba.
Yeah, and that's
is singular. That's the robe.
That's the robe for hot weather. It's
Yeah.
specifically designed for it. It also covers your face, but it's not too constrictive. It should.
I got sun goggles. And
Also, so Higgimus, you were gonna buy basically sleeping masks, just strips of black cloth.
Yeah, to cover everybody's eyes so that they'll be able to sleep.
So that'll be 1 copper piece each, even for you.
Okay. Oh, it's just 1 for me? Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm gonna get
they're
two
basically
canteens.
just strips of cloth. You end up getting just a long strip of cloth and cut it up, kind of thing, and then just however long you get, it's just 1 copper piece each, kind of thing. So.
I bet that's a common practice here. Because it's not like it gets any darker.
Okay.
No, but also, given the nature of where the sun is, most people sleep underground. Like, they have basements and they go down into the basement to sleep.
I wonder how hard it will be for us to dig a hole.
Unless using water
or a shovel.
We'll need shovels.
Is there anything like a light kind of sleeping bag or bedroll that we could have that isn't like the normal ones?
You won't be sleeping in a bedroll.
The thing I'm thinking is when we first go away from the ribbon, the sun's going to be on the horizon. So if we could dig a hole and make a mound, we could be sheltering from the sun in the hole.
The sun never changes position, does it?
No.
Yeah, so we can do that.
As we get further away from the ribbon, the sun will be higher in the sky, so we'd have to dig a bigger hole. But well, we would kind of be sleeping in graves.
The tarp will work fine. Because we can angle it, right? Like so, the sun's coming over there, so we have the one side down and the other side raised up.
Yeah. Well, I have an idea. You know, we were talking about going with our stuff in a cart. I'm wondering if we could push it and have something at the front of it that reflects the sun.
Oh. Did we buy hot weather rations?
Those are just standard. You're more concerned about water than food.
Yeah, it's water.
Lafdul, ice cream rations. Ice cream rations.
All right, I'm gonna get rid of the daily rations cut off my character sheet because
I mean, as long as you've got if you've got some standard rations, those will work fine.
Yeah, I've only got 8, so I'm gonna get up to 21 rations, I think.
How much are rations? Common rations.
Those are gonna be 4 silver pieces each for a day's worth of rations.
4 silver pieces.
How many are people taking? We taking more than 2 weeks because we were about 2 weeks, slightly over.
I was thinking the same thing. We were a bit over 2 weeks, so
3 weeks. It's gonna weigh us down.
And it's also gonna take us. I think it's gonna take us longer because we're gonna have to go a lot slower in the heat.
Well, I think
I'm gonna take up to 21 rations.
I'm gonna take 21 rations as well.
So it was 4 gold silver pieces.
Do they sell like a sleeping pad or something to put on the ground?
Yeah, I mean you can get bedrolls.
Okay.
Let me see if there's.
You just sleep on top of a bedroll.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, typically a bedroll is not actually a sleeping bag. Typically, it's a rolled up mat.
It's like a thermarest kind of thing.
So let me see if I got some prices. Give me a second. It's going to be a double price for you, Asher, for food, by the way.
Yeah, I figured as much.
Okay.
Because this is vegetarian, or because of how big he is?
Because of how big he is.
It's a paradise. They'd have plenty of good food.
I think I need to check Aurora's Whole Realms catalog. I'm pretty sure there's a bedroll in there. Give me a second.
Well, Yeldan normally sleeps in a hammock, but
there's not going to be any
have
trees.
some issues setting that up.
It's like Lafdul, turn into a tree.
Could always ask him.
No.
Yeah.
Well, you could ask. I didn't say you'd say yes.
Well, I didn't say that he would be bringing it. It's just that I probably need to buy a bedroll too. Well, not necessarily actually, because we would only need like one less because and then somebody just rotates bedroll for the people on watch.
So basically, you'd get a padded leather mat kind of thing for a bedroll, and that is going to be 15 gold pieces each.
Okay, I'll get
double
one.
for
Okay.
Higgimus.
Well, I'm paying for this out of the company fund.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
Bedrolls are on you.
Or us.
On the company.
Archon Company.
Now, I'll need each of you to fill out your expense forms at the end of this adventure.
Wait, expense forms?
He was
Yeah.
making a joke.
Was he though?
Filled out in triplicate.
And
Alright,
that's how
any
one of us
other-
invents a copying machine.
How much do rations weigh? They're half a pound, aren't they?
Something like that.
Alright, half a pound.
Keep in mind that a gallon of water is about 8.5 pounds, so assume 4.5 pounds or five.
Hang on,
Actually,
hang on,
5
hang on.
pounds for your full canteens.
Hang on, how much is a gallon? How much does water weigh?
8.5 pounds.
No, oh, God.
So
Right, that 3-gallon one I'm going to have to carry, not put it in my pouch.
And that tarp I got was big enough to cover an area that would cover all of us.
So
right?
wait,
Yeah.
each of my 1 gallon water skins would be 8.5?
Yeah.
So it'd be
8.5.
7.
So
No,
yeah,
that'd be
1 gallon
7
water
pounds.
skin is 8.5 pounds. The half-gallon water canteens would be
4.25.
well, no, they'd be 5 because the canteens are heavy. You know, they're pretty thick and everything like
You
that.
said 5
Alright,
pounds?
so what are they?
5 pounds.
5 pounds.
And the 3-gallon water skin would be, hold on a second, 25 pounds.
Oh, God.
Jesus Christ.
Water's heavy.
Water's very heavy.
That's
You
supposed
always
to
have to make
be,
a
that's supposed to be
decision on
like
whether-
160 pounds if I'm wearing my armor.
Yeah, we're going to weigh a... Well, I can fit the smaller ones in my pouch easily enough, but the bigger
But I
one...
doubt. But if I'm not wearing my armor,
Yeah, I'm
You're
going
not
to
going to be wearing your armor. Are you kidding me?
it's
He
the
can
hot
wear
side.
it if he wants.
I'm
You
not wearing the
mix-
armor on the hot side.
Can we get some armor that's not hot?
There
Unless
is
we
no
got
such
the
thing.
ropes.
There's really no
Okay,
such thing.
if I leave my armor and the great helm on the wagon, I won't have any encumbrance.
Yeah, I'm going to have to resort out my inventory, because, yeah.
I just leave those 2 items on the cart that we have with us, and I will be fine.
Yeah, you can
It's
figure
about-
out encumbrance and inventory stuff in between sessions, and please do, rather than now. Did you guys want to spend a few minutes identifying those the rings in that stone you got?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So you got some pearls to.
I will offer up my one.
Okay. I think I may have misstated what one of those detected as well.
How do you spell canteen?
Canteen.
EE. Thank you.
All right,
It's
so
can and teen.
canteen. All right, so what item do you want to identify first?
Since I'm paying for it, I want my ring identified first.
And which one was that?
The platinum band.
Okay. Alright, let's see level variation.
Destroys the item. Yeah.
No.
It can happen.
Lafdul would just. I don't know how he'd react.
Alright, so Lafdul, Leva's identification of that ring reveals that it is intended to recover wounds.
Oh, what? I did that.
Oh
and
my
it didn't
God.
do nothing. I literally did that and it didn't heal. Has it got a command word then? Alright. Does it have charges?
It might be like a over time thing. Maybe it's a regeneration.
Yeah, I haven't been actively wearing it.
The identification does not reveal that it has charges.
I suggest you
if
wear
it's
it
a-
and see what happens.
You have to wear it for a while if it's a ring of regeneration, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Are
That
you going
would be
to
nice.
put it on and wear it for a while?
Yeah, I guess.
Okay.
That means I'm not.
Yeah, you'll have to, because I think you already
yeah,
have 2 rings, right?
I'll just not use. Oh, it's my ring of telekinesis. That's one I actively switch in and out when I use it. So I just put it on that ring. So I got ring of protection and ring of regen.
Okay.
Ring of regen ? You mean?
Yeah.
Next thing.
Not as any of them.
Higgimus's ring.
Yeah,
Yep.
Higgimus is in the Ironstone.
Okay, that's the one that I think that I stated incorrectly. I think I was looking at the wrong thing when I gave you the information. It would have detected as, for Leva, Abjuration and Enchantment, and for Lafdul as Charm.
Sorry, what does my platinum ring? Is it? What was the description you gave?
It is designed to restore wounds.
Restore wounds. And it wasn't detected as charged or anything like.
She tried and it did not reveal any that it had charges.
So it's passive.
Well, or it's, I mean, it could be a use per day, or use per hour, use per week.
But that would be indicated by charges, surely.
No.
Use per year.
If something is usable once per day, it has no charges. It's just usable once per day. Charges
Just
are,
like my ring
you
of
can use it
jumping is
10
usable.
times. Even if you can use it, I mean, you may still only be able to use it once per day, but if it's 10 charges and then boom, it's gone, it's used up, then it would reveal that it has charges. Okay, so the copper ring with smoky quartz stone that Higgimus got, the identification reveals that that is designed to allow you unrestricted movement.
Oh, ring of free action. That's really good in war.
Next up.
The Ironstone.
The ion stone that I am holding for now.
That is designed to protect your life force.
Oh, so it's like my amulet.
Not quite. It's to prevent hit point drain. Probably.
I did not specifically say one thing or the other.
Who wants this ion stone then?
We can sort that out after game.
Yeah, it can be sorted out after game. Anything else that anyone wants to get identified?
Don't
People
they
pick
re-
up scrolls that they need identifying, or
Nah, they get identified
Like-
with read magic typically.
okay.
I had a bit of trouble with that tankard. I tried commanding it to make something hot when we were on the cold side.
Yeah, so
Doesn't work
I
that
don't have
way.
a problem revealing to you, because I'm pretty sure I revealed it before, and I think there was just some confusion. It keeps things hot, or it keeps things cold.
It's a thermos.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't actually change temperature.
Change temperature. Yeah.
Right.
Just keeps it at the same temperature in an indefinite basis.
It's also not lidded, so, you know.
Oh, I thought it says with a lid.
Ooh,
I got written
unlidded.
down fine wooden tankard with a
okay,
lid.
then I'm misremembering. My bad. I didn't actually look at that part.
It's a
Right.
thermos.
Well,
I mean, it's still
I don't
not like lidded in such a way that you could close the lid and
It's-
toss it around and it keeps the liquid inside.
yeah.
It
I'm
just-
guessing it's more like a German Stein.
Yeah. All right. Anything else?
I just found it. A gnarled shaft of wood, just over a foot long.
What?
Gnarled shaft of wood. No,
Would have
that's
thought
actually
you
from
would have
before
identified.
that. Sorry, that's from before that.
Okay. So you don't need that identified?
No,
Okay.
no, don't need it.
Okay. All right.
Well, I've got this 3-inch tube that apparently reveals hidden things, but I don't know whether you need a different spell to find out more than that.
There's something inside that. It looks like you'd unstopper each end and blow.
Right. Oh, I see. Yeah, it sounds like sand inside when moved. Oh, I see. That must be dust that you blow onto invisible people.
Like
Okay.
glare dust.
All right. Well, with that, let's go ahead and total up the experience points. And let's see.
People might want to write in their XP in the chat.
Yeah.
Get into a habit of doing that.
Okay. So, Higgimus,
Hmm.
that is going to be at 1,000.
Even.
Braxon, 900. Yeldan, also 900. Lafdul, 850 plus an additional 50 for your thief.
Mm-hmm.
And for Ockar, that is going to be 1,050. He got extra for donating.
Ah,
Because Baranar is a lawful good deity. So you got some extra experience points for making a donation to a lawful good church.
cool.
Nice.
All right. I doubt that's
Did
taking...
Levan not get any?
I'm sorry? Oh.
Did
Oh, sorry. I missed you. Sorry. 750 for Leva.
Okay.
Sorry.
You're leveling up too fast. No XP for you.
I don't think
Okay.
anyone's going up a level with that amount, right?
No.
No. I am just going to write in my XP.
No, not yet.
Okay. Well,
No.
I want to thank you guys
Not even
for
close.
playing.
Why have I I've done mine wrong. It's a good
Wait,
thing
why
I
does-
checked that.
Yeldan, why does yours say 150?
Yeah, I know.
thought-
I realised I've made an error. That's why you make these notes.
No, I said Yeldan, not Lafdul.
Oh, sorry.
Yeldan, why does yours say 150? I thought we don't hit level 8 until 175 or 170 something.
It's 150.
Let me double check.
I'll take a look.
Oh, it's 150.
I mean,
Yeah,
you're
I
far
was
enough
big,
away
though.
anyway that it doesn't matter that much, but...
Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you guys for playing. Thanks everyone out there for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. And we'll be back next week as the party goes to the sun side of the planet and gets heat stroke many, many times over.
And dies.
See you next time, everyone.
Thanks for the game.
Yes.
Thank you.
See ya.